Good day everyone and welcome to Channel C. It's been a long time since I last posted here and I'm now excited to share an issue that is close to my heart and relevant in today's time, which is the Philippines COVID-19 response. In the Philippines, social distancing and lockdown policies are not well nuanced. Contact tracing protocols have not improved as much as testing and treating. Leadership is lacking, with several members of the interagency task force only focusing on controlling people movement. There are also massive communication gaps in policy. Some government and police officials went unpunished for violating protocols, while several people were arrested for not wearing face masks and face shields. During the long lockdown, public transport was curtailed and intercity travel prevented, disrupting domestic value chains. Even after the lockdown began to ease in June, excessive permits were required and rules were not uniformly implemented across locals. Getting the economy back on track will be difficult given that infections continue to rise. The Philippines' four-pillar policy response to the pandemic provided social protection support to the vulnerable, including displaced and overseas Filipino workers, and an emergency cash aid program. It also expanded resources for frontline medical workers, fiscal measures such as credit guarantees for small businesses, and monetary measures. The Philippine response to COVID-19 has been described as being one of the longest and strictest lockdowns in the world. Why has the Philippine government relied heavily on draconian measure in its war against COVID-19? And what discourse informed the framing of its response as a war against the virus? The government's reliance on draconian measures was a consequence of securitizing COVID-19, appreciating the virus as an existential threat. The securitization of COVID-19 was reinforced with a narrative characterizing the situation of the country as being at war against an unseen enemy. This warlike narrative, however, invariably produced a subject, the pasaway. As the enemy of health and order, the pasaway became the target of disciplining and policing. The targeting of the pasaway was informed by deep-seated class prejudice and Duterte's authoritarian tendencies. The Philippine government must become more efficient and transparent with the release of guidelines and protocols to curb the spread of COVID-19. The government should allocate its resources and plan and implement strict control and monitoring mechanisms on these priority protocols as they impact other protocols for the successful attainment of GCQ's purpose. This work provides better insights to further streamline the lockdown exit strategy of the Philippine government. If I am given the opportunity to campaign for possible solutions I mentioned through social media, I will carry it through creating advocacies that will help raise awareness about the issue on Philippines' COVID-19 response. I will encourage them through my social media posts to get vaccinated and follow the government's health protocols to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Through collective effort, we will achieve a COVID-free Philippines and go back to normal. And that's it for today's vlog. I hope you learned something from me today. Remember to get vaccinated and to make sure to follow all the safety protocols. And make sure to follow and subscribe and watch my other vlogs as well. Remember, #mas iwas hugas bakuna. Thank you and have a good day. Bye! See you on my next vlog. It's been a long time since I last posted here and I'm now excited to share an issue that is close to my heart and is relevant in today's time, which is the Philippine response to COVID-19 has been described as
dito si na akong kwarta. Bayran na ko siya 600. To si sugal ko. Bulan tayo sugal.
This vlog. I hope you learned something from me today. Remember to get vaccinated to achieve herd immunity and make sure to follow the health protocols. Click here to see my other videos and that's it for today's vlog.